Okay, so given a set of elements, we can create the heap either using the bottom-up heap approach, a bottom-up heap construction approach, and the other one using top-down heap construction approach. We'll understand both these strategies. First, we'll discuss bottom-up heap construction. So what we do is we initialize the essentially complete binary tree with n nodes by placing keys in the input order. And after we have placed the keys in the input order, we then apply the heapify procedure. Okay, so what you have to understand is in the initial part we just simply place the elements according to the input order without worrying about whether the parental dominance property is satisfied or not. After all the elements are inserted, then we try to heapify it. Okay, the binary tree will not be a heap. We'll do some transformation so that it becomes a heap. These operations are said to be the heapify procedure. So where do we start with? So in such a tree, we start with the last parental node. What we do here is the algorithm checks whether the parental dominance holds for the key in this node. So we take the last parental node and check whether it is larger than its children. If it is larger, then nothing is done. Otherwise, if the condition is not true, then we exchange this parent node with the child node such that we exchange it with the largest child. Okay. So as I said earlier, if the condition is not satisfied, the algorithm is going to exchange the node's key k with the larger key of its children. After it has done so, again we check for parental dominance for this node k, again its new position. If it is not satisfied, we again continue the process, and this we continue till the parental dominance for k is satisfied. After completing the heapification for the subtree rooted at the current parental node. Okay, so remember we started at the last parental node. Once the heapification is done at the current parental node, we proceed to the node's immediate predecessor. Okay, so when I say immediate predecessor, it's according to the array ordering, not with regard to the parent-child relationship. The algorithm stops after this is done for the root of the tree. So we repeat this procedure again and again by going back to the immediate predecessor, check whether the parental dominance is satisfied, and the overall algorithm stops when we have reached the root and we see that the parental dominance is satisfied for the root as well. Okay, so let's look at an example. Suppose say I am given an input list of elements 297658 and I am required to construct a heap using the bottom up heap construction approach. So what I am going to do is we are simply including all these elements into a binary tree according to the input order. So 2 will be made as the root, 9 will be made as the left child of 2, and then in the next position we will insert 7. Okay, and then 6 will be made the left child of 9 and so on. You can see here, so the elements have been inserted in the input list order. Okay, array. So these heaps, you should not imagine them as to be stored in linked list representation. Rather, you should think of these heaps as being stored in an array. Okay, so if you just want to backtrack, see, this shows the way in which the elements are stored as a heap. Okay, so the heap in the diagram is represented by the array 10, 6, 9, 2, 5, 7, 8. Okay, so this is array representation and not a linked list representation. So now what we have done is we have simply inserted them in the order 2, 9, 7, 6, 5, 8. Next, what we do is, as our algorithm said, we start with the last parent node. Which is the last parent node? in our current graph, we have 2, 9, 7 as the parents, but the last parent is 7. So we check whether the parental dominance is satisfied at 7. So is 7 greater than its children? Okay, in this case, 7 has only a single child, 8. The parental dominance does not hold here. So what we do is we exchange the parent with the child node, and since there is a single child node, we are exchanging it with 8. So this will result in the graph shown next. Okay, so now we have 2, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And here again at all positions now the parental dominance is satisfied. Okay, so now we are finished with checking at the position of the node 8 for parental dominance. After this we move to the immediate predecessor of 8. So the immediate predecessor of 8 is 9 according to the array representation. We check whether the parental dominance holds. So 9 is larger than 6, 9 is larger than 5, the parental dominance is satisfied here. So there are no exchanges. Okay, we compare 9 with 6, we compare 9 with 5, and because 9 is larger than both of its children, there is no change. After 9, we go to the next predecessor, which is 2. So 2 is being compared with 9 and 8. Here the parent dominance is violated. 2 is not greater than 9, 2 is not greater than 8. So now comes the question, if a node is lesser than both of its children, with which child should we exchange this node? So the answer to this is, whenever a parent is lesser than both of its children, we should exchange the parent node with the largest child. Among 9 and 8, 9 is larger, so 9 is going to be exchanged with 2. We don't stop there. Okay, again we compare 2 with its children, saying that whether parental dominance is satisfied or not. Again 2 is this positioning of 2 does not satisfy parental dominance with its children. So among 6 and 5, 6 is the largest child. We exchange 2 with 6. Now the resulting binary tree is a heap. Okay, because at all nodes the parental dominance is satisfied. So this is how we create a heap in using the bottom-up heap construction. So to begin with, we just store elements in the input order into the array, and then start with the last parent. See to that it satisfies the parental dominance. If it doesn't, we perform the swap operations, and then we proceed to the immediate parent. In this way, we repeat the process till we have arrived at the root, and at the root also the parental dominance is satisfied. Then we have finished creating a heap. So now let's look at the algorithm for this bottom-up heap creation. Okay, so this bottom-up heap takes a array h index from 1 to n. Okay, rather than using 0 to n minus 1, for the sake of convenience, we are using 1 to n notation. So what does it do? It constructs a heap from the elements of a given array using the bottom-up approach. What is the input? An array h of orderable elements. What is the output? Output is a heap h. So this is an example of representational change where an array is represented as a heap, converted into a heap. Okay. Now we write the outer loop for I is equal to n by 2 down to 1. So this is a decremental loop, not an incremental loop. We start with I being n by 2 rounded down, and then keep on decreasing till we reach 1. Okay. So why do we start with n by 2? Already if you look at the properties of the heap, if there are n nodes in the heap, the position of the parent will be at n by 2. Okay, that is the position of the last parent. Since we want to start our algorithm from the last parent, we initialize I to n by 2, and we proceed the algorithm till we have reached the root, which is at position 1. Okay, so now in each iteration we initialize k to the value of I. Okay, so now k is the position of the parent. Okay, and we want to fetch the value at that position, so v is equal to h of k. In the array, fetch the element at position k. Initially we say that the heap is false. Okay, we say that the resulting structure or the array currently is not a heap. So as long as this while not heap, as long as this is not a heap, okay, as long as the heap variable contains false and 2 times k is less than or equal to n, we need to repeat these operations. Okay, so first one is obvious, till we don't have the parental dominance, the value heap will be set to false. The second condition, 2 multiplied by k less than or equal to n. So if k is the position of the parent, then its child will be at position 2k and 2k plus 1. And we have to see to that these 2k are valid positions. When do we say it is valid position? If it is in the range 1 to n. If 2k is less than or equal to n, then okay, we can repeat the operations. So within the inner while, okay, we fetch the position of the left child of k. So if a node is at position k in the array, its left child will be at the position 2k. We store it into the variable j. J contains the position of the left child. If j is less than n, okay, what does it indicate? There are 2 children. Okay, if j is equal to n, then there is only the left child. Okay, the right child is missing. If j is less than n, it means that j plus 1 will be equal to n, therefore both the children are present. From these left and right childs, I first need to choose the largest child. How do we check that? Check the nodes at position j and j plus 1. If the value at j plus 1 is larger, we increment j. So j now points to the right child, which is the largest. If the condition is not true, j will still remain at the left child. Okay, so the first condition, if h of j is less than h of j plus 1, chooses the largest child, where the operation is, if the condition is true, we increment j by 1. And then after we have chosen the largest child, we need to compare it with the node at position k. The value is v. Okay, so if v is greater than or equal to the value at position j, then okay, position j contains the value of the largest child, v contains the value of the parent. If parent is greater than the child, then we set the heap variable to true. Okay, the parental dominance is holding. Otherwise, if this condition is not true, if v is less than h of j, we need to exchange. Okay, so what we do is we copy the largest child into the kth position and we set k now to j. Okay, j now contains the position of the largest child. At that largest child, we write the value v, okay, which is nothing but the value of the parent. Okay, so this is how we perform a exchange operation, as has been shown here. For example, 7 and 8. So first we write 8 into 7 has been copied into a variable v. We write 8 into 7 and later we increment k, we set k to the value of j. So when we come to the k position, we write back v. Okay, this is how we are able to heapify an array which was not a heap. Okay, after this we go to the next value, which is n by 2 minus 1. Okay, so this is a decremental loop. We repeat this procedure, and when I reaches 1 and has finished the iteration, the resulting array will be a heap. Okay, where the parental dominance will be satisfied for every node. Okay, so this is the algorithm for bottom up creation of a heap. Okay, this is one way. Let's look at the analysis part of it. Let's assume that the heap is full. which means that at every level all the nodes are available, no node is missing. In that case, n will be equal to 2 power k minus 1, where k is the number of levels. Okay, if the level is if there are 3 levels, then we will have 7 nodes. Okay, 1 node in the first level, 2 nodes in the second, and 4 nodes in the third level, totally 7 nodes. And if h is the height of the tree, we know that the height of a binary tree will be log n to the base 2. So every time we consider a key which is at level I, okay, this key is nothing but the parental node. This parental node, if it doesn't satisfy the parent dominance, it will be moved downwards by repeatedly exchanging it with the largest child. So every key on level I of the tree will travel to the leaf level. Okay, leaf level is the bottommost level, and what is the value of it? It will be equal to h in the worst case. Okay, suppose say the parent node is the smallest, then it keeps on being exchanged with its childs in the next level. Again we compare, parental dominance is not satisfied, again it will be moved down the level till it reaches the leaf node. Okay, and you know that leaf nodes will be present in the level h, where h is the height. And if you look at the algorithm, okay, to move a parent down the heap, we require two comparisons. One is the comparison for choosing the largest child, okay, h of j less than h of j plus 1, and another one is for checking whether the parental dominance is satisfied. So if we want to find the total number of comparisons involving a key on level I, so if we are at level I and at most we can move till h, then the total number of comparisons is 2 times h minus I, because in each level I would require two comparisons, as discussed earlier. So if we set up a summation, in the worst case, okay, we find out that C worst of n will be equal to 2n minus 2 times log of n, which is almost a linear order of growth. Okay, we can and again that small value 2 log n plus 1 is being subtracted from 2n, which we can approximately say that it is 2n. Or in other words, the max number of key comparisons in the worst case will be always lesser than 2n comparisons. Okay, so which suggests that we can heapify a given list of elements with fewer than 2n comparisons. Now let's look at the alternate way, which is the top-down heap construction. Okay, in bottom-up approach, we included all the elements in the input order and then readjusted them or heapified them. In case of the top-down heap construction, here we create a heap by successive insertions. We start with an empty heap, we insert the first element, then the second element, and so on. Okay, so every time we insert a new node with the key k in it after the last leaf of the existing heap. Okay, so we go to the last level and we insert the new node after the last leaf in that particular level. Okay, and then after inserting it, we check whether this new insertion of an element satisfies the parental dominance. Because this is the last leaf node, it can only move in the upward direction. Okay, so we shift this k up to its appropriate place. Suppose I have inserted a very large element, then other elements will be lesser than it, so we need to exchange them. We need to move this element higher up the heap. So how do we do this? We compare k with its parent's key. If the parent is greater, okay, or it is equal, then there is no need for adjustment. Okay, this has resulted in a heap itself. Otherwise, if the parent is smaller, then we swap these with the parent. And again, we don't stop there. We compare that new k with its new parent in the upper layer. And similarly, this process of swapping keeps continuing until k is not greater. Okay, so it is lesser than its parent, or it reaches the root level. Okay, when do we reach the root level? When we have the largest value. Okay, so this is called as the top down heap construction. Let us look again at a different example. So say I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This is the input. I have to construct a heap out of it. So the first possible position is at 1, and let's say I have inserted 1. Okay, so here this is the single node in the heap. So the parental dominance is automatically holds true. Next we try to insert 2. Okay, the next available position will be at position 2. Okay, we so 2 will be inserted as the left child of 1, but when I insert this new node, the parental dominance is not satisfied. So what we do, we compare it with its parent, and since the parent is smaller, we exchange them. Okay, so now the resulting heap will be having 2 in its root node and 1 as its left node. Next we insert 3. Which is the next position available? So we should insert it after the last leaf in our graph. Which is the last leaf? 1. So we should insert 3 to the right of 1 as the right child of 2. Okay, as shown on the top, 3 has been inserted as the right child of 2. But if we check for the parental dominance of this inserted node, the parental dominance is violated because 3's parent 2 is smaller than it. So what we have to do, we have to exchange them. Okay, we have to exchange 2 and 3. 3 becomes the root node, and now we see that the parental dominance is satisfied. So this is the next heap. Okay, with 3 at the root, 1 as the left child and 2 as the right child. Now the next available position is as the left child of 1. Okay, at position 4 we insert the next element 4, but again here the parental dominance is violated. So I check 4 with its parent, 1 is smaller, I exchange them, and then again I check 4 with 3, 3 is smaller, so I exchange them. Okay, so you see here, when I compare 4 with 1, and since the parent is smaller, we exchange the parent and the child, which becomes where 4 becomes the parent and 1 becomes the child. Again I check 4 with its parent 3, again the condition is not satisfied, so we again swap. So this will give us a tree with 4 as the root, 3 as its left child, 2 as its right child, and 1 the left child of 3. In this case, all the parental dominance is satisfied at all the nodes, and it is also an essentially complete binary tree. So this is the resulting heap after we have inserted 4. Similarly, we try to insert 5. Okay, you can see it here. So the next available position is after the last leaf node. So the last leaf node was 1 in the previous case. We have inserted 5 to the left of 5 to the right of 1. But however, as you see, the parental dominance is not satisfied. So 5 is compared with 3. So there is an exchange because 3 is smaller. Again 5 is compared with its parent. Again 4 is smaller. So we exchange, where we get the resulting graph as 5 in the root, 4 as its left child, and 1 the left child of 4, 3 the right child of 4, and 2 the right child of 5. Next position where we can insert is as the left child of 2. The element to be inserted is 6. Okay, let's say we insert 6. Again the parental dominance is violated. So 6 we compare with its parent 2. 2 is smaller, so we exchange. So that will give us 6 as the parent and 2 as its child. Again we compare 6 with its parent 5. The parent is smaller, so we exchange it again. So we get 6 as the root, 4 and 5 as the childs at the first level, 1, 3, 2 as the nodes at the third level. Now we insert the next value 7. 7 can be inserted as the right node of 5. Okay, as you can see here in the last one in the bottom row, 7 is now inserted as the child of 5. We check for parental dominance. Parental dominance is violated, so exchange 7 with 5. Okay, we get this graph. Compare 7 with its parent. Again, the parental dominance is violated. Exchange 7 with 6. We get this graph and we have reached the root node, so we stop here. Okay, so the last graph is the heap that results from inserting elements from the input list. Okay, so this approach is called as the top down approach, where we insert one element at a time. The insertion operation cannot require more key comparisons than the heap site. Okay, so why? Because we keep comparing it with the parents, and the number of such comparisons cannot be larger than the height of the tree. Therefore, the height of a heap with n nodes will be log n to the base 2. Okay, and hence the efficiency of the insertion is in log n. Okay, if there are n nodes in your heap and you want to insert a new element, you would require at most log n comparisons, log n to the base 2 comparisons. That is the analysis part. Apart from insertion, sometimes we would require deletion of the root element. Remember, at the very beginning of the discussion of heaps, we said heap is a good choice for implementing priority queues. In a priority queue, we always try to delete the highest element, and in a heap, this highest element will always occupy the root position. So let's see how to perform the deletion of the root element. In the first step, what we do is we exchange the roots key with the last key of the heap. Okay, or the rightmost child in the last level, that is the last key. Then we reduce the heap size by 1. We leave off the last element, and the resulting tree, the remaining tree, we again perform a heapify operation using the bottom up heap construction. If at this stage, when we verify the parental dominance holds, then we stop there. Otherwise, we swap the parental node with the largest child, and we repeat this operation till the parental dominance is either satisfied for k, okay, or we have reached the root position. So let's look at an example here. Okay, before the example, let's do the efficiency analysis as well. The efficiency analysis of deletion is determined by the number of key comparisons needed to heapify the tree after the swap has been made, and the size of the tree is decreased by 1. And the tree's comparison, the number of comparisons, as we have seen earlier, cannot be more than 2 times the heap's height. And since the height of the heap will be log n, the time efficiency of deletion is big O of log n. Okay, you can say 2 log n, but we ignore the constant 2 while specifying the efficiency. The number of key comparisons cannot be more than 2 log n, and therefore we say that the efficiency analysis of this insertion will be big O of log of n. Okay, so the analysis here is for insertion and deletion, sorry, which require log n comparisons to achieve this. So let's look at an example. So here we have a heap, and we are supposed to delete the largest, the root element, or the largest element, in other words. So which is the largest element? The element present at the root position. So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to exchange the root element with the last element. Which is the last element in the heap? 1. Okay, so this will result in 1 becoming the root and 9 becoming the last node. After this, we reduce the size of the heap. Means I am not considering the last element for the future heap operations. Okay, so if I have say here 6 elements, and we have discussed that this heaps will be stored in array form. After I have exchanged the largest element, root element, with the last element, okay, we don't consider the last element, we consider the remaining elements. Okay, so the shaded part that I have shown here is the part that has to be not included for the reheapifying operations. Now what we should do is we should again heapify the remainder part. So we check here as to whether parental dominance holds. We start with the root. 1 is not greater than 8 or it is not greater than 6. So this is violating the heap requirement. Hence we swap 1 with the largest child. Okay, swapping 1 with 8 gives us 8 in the root position and 1 as the left child. But now, so when we discard this 9, we don't consider, this is what we get. Next we check for parental dominance. So when we compare 1 with 8, we do a swapping. And again 1, if we compare with its children 2 and 5, it is lesser. Again we exchange it with the largest child. Among 2 and 5, 5 is the largest. So we exchange 1 with 5. So the resulting heap will be this 8, 5, 6, 2, 1. This is how you delete the root element or the highest element in a heap. Okay, so exchange it with the last element, reduce the size of the heap by 1, and again apply the reheapify procedure using the bottom up approach that we discussed earlier. Now we look at the application of these heaps. We can use this heap for developing a very efficient sorting algorithm that is called as heap sort. The algorithm was discovered by J.W.J. Williams. It is a two-stage algorithm. In the first stage, we construct a heap or a max heap from the given array. Okay, and then we apply maximum deletions. Apply the root deletion operation n minus 1 times to the remaining heap. That way we will be able to sort. Let's try to understand this. Suppose say the input given is 297658. Okay, so what we do here is we just insert them into the tree in the input order, and then we try to heapify it. Okay, we apply the heapify procedure that we learned earlier. So we start from the last parent. So I have shown the graph representation on the left hand side. On the right hand side you can see its array representation. So the initial input array is 297658, and after starting with the parent 7, we see that it violates the parental dominance. So we exchange the elements. 7 and 8 are exchanged. Okay, and then we see that the contents of the heap is now 298657. Okay, 8 and 7 have been exchanged. After considering 7, we the next parent considered is 9. Okay, which has been highlighted in red. Okay, the parent that is currently under consideration is shown there. When I compare 9 with its children, it is larger than both of its child. So there is no change in the array contents. So in the third step also, the array contents is 298657. Next parent to be considered is the root node 2. So when we compare 2 with 2 with 9 and 7, 2 is smaller than both 9 as well as 7. Therefore, we swap 2 with the largest child. Among 9 and 7, 9 is larger. 9 and 8, 9 is larger. So we swap it with 9. Okay, that will give us an array 9, 2, 8, 6, 5, 7. So all these comparisons are shown, what happens in each stage. After swapping 9 with 2, again we compare 2 with 6 and 5. So both are larger than the parent. So we extend 2 with the largest child, which is 6. So 2 and 6 are swapped. This is the last step. Now we get a heap. Okay, the one that you see here, 9, 6, 8, 2, 5, 7 is a heap. So this is the first stage, okay, where the input 297658, which was stored in array form, you can see in the heap construction table, we have directly stored them in the input order, and then later we have heapified it, okay, by checking for parental dominance and performing swap operations if it is violated. So this first stage requirement that we change the array into a heap form says that this belongs to the representational change variety of transform and conquer. Okay, so first convert the array into a heap and then use it for sorting. Let us look at the sorting part. Okay, sorting part, what we do is we apply repeatedly the root deletion operation n minus 1 times. If there are n elements, we repeat this n minus 1 times. Okay, so the initial contents of our heap is 9, 6, 8, 2, 5, 7. Our root deletion says that we have to delete the highest element by exchanging it with the last element. Okay, so the root element is 9, the last element is 7, we have exchanged them, and then we say that we reduce the size of the heap by 1. If you observe here, now earlier the largest element occupied the root position, but now when I exchange it with the last element, the largest element occupies the last position in the array. Okay, you can see the green colored ones. So if the largest element is placed in the last position, it means that the last element is sorted. Okay, and now what we do is we reduce the size of the heap, and the resulting heap is shown in the second diagram, middle one. We now need to apply the heapify procedure. We need to verify this is a heap or not, and we need to apply the heapify. So we start with comparing 7 with 6 and 8. 6 is smaller, so parent dominance is satisfied there, but 8 is not smaller than 7. So because parental dominance is violated, we exchange 8 and 7. By re-heapifying it, what we have done is we have brought the second largest element to the root position, and this last element 9 should not be considered as part of the heap. You should consider it as part of the sorted arrays. That's why I have shown them in the green color. Okay, after re-heapifying, the array contents will be the same as in the third column, 8, 6, 7, 2, 5, 9. Next, what we need to do is we need to exchange the root element with the last element in the heap. The root element is 8, the last element is 5, okay, and not 9. So when I do this, the second largest element is placed in the second last position in the sorted array, which means that we have finished sorting the second last position. Okay, after doing this, the remaining elements in the heap are 5, 6, 7, 2. Verify whether these elements form a heap. Here again the parental dominance is violated. 5 is less than 6 and 7, so we exchange it with the largest child. The largest child is 7. Okay, so the resulting heap will now be 7, 6, 5, 2, 8, 9. Okay, with the last two elements being sorted. Now what we do is, from the heap we again exchange, we perform a root deletion, which means exchanging 7 with 2. So 2 and 7 are exchanged, and you see that now the last 3 elements are sorted. The remaining heap we have to apply the heapify. 2 is lesser than 6 and 5, so exchange with the largest child 6. It becomes 6 to 5 with 7, 8, 9 being sorted. Okay, contents of the array are 6, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9. Next, we need to exchange the root node 6 with the last node 5. So that becomes 5, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 6 has occupied its final position in the sorted array. The remaining list 5, 2 is a heap. So there is no swaps required. We leave it as such. Next, we exchange a root element with the last node in the heap. So that is exchanging 5 with 2. So that gives you 2, 5. Okay. At this point, the last n minus 1 elements are sorted, and if only one element is left out in the first position, it means that it is sorted as well. Okay, so by doing the root deletion n minus 1 times, we are now able to sort the array. So this is the idea of heap sort. Analysis. As we have seen earlier, deletion of root element requires log n comparisons. Okay, it cannot be more than the height of the heap, and we know that the height of the tree cannot exceed log n in case of the heap. And this deletion of the root element will be done n times. Okay, we are not applying the deletion only once, we are repeating it n minus 1 times or approximately n times. And therefore, in the worst case efficiency, the algorithm's efficiency is big O of n log n, and in the average case also it is n log n. So if we compare it with other standard algorithms, sorting algorithms, heap sort's time efficiency falls in the same class as that of merge sort. Okay, merge sort's average case and the worst case efficiency is in n log n. Okay, so in the worst case, it works better than quicksort. In case of quicksort, the worst case efficiency is n square. Okay, and even though heap sort is in the same efficiency class as that of merge sort, there is one advantage of using heap sort. Okay, unlike the merge sort, heap sort is an in-place sorting algorithm. What do we mean by an in-place sorting algorithm? It doesn't require any additional storage, whereas in case of merge sort, we need to divide the array into two halves and make copies of them in order to sort them. Okay, so that is one of the advantages of using heap sort. So this finishes the discussion on transform and conquer. Okay, so what you can do is you can go through all these videos. Tomorrow I will be available for questions at 4 p.m. Okay, I will share a link where you can join and post questions on the same.